So this is a good story right here. This happened probably a few weeks ago, but I'm going to preface it by saying I didn't think about doing this recording until I saw this post. And it is something like this particular post that I saw today that just it gets me absolutely psyched and motivated because I have found over the many years that I've been around that I need to surround myself with other people that aren't afraid to kind of take chances and do things that they haven't done before, push themselves into either areas of creativity or whatever it is. So I saw this today, and Mr. Dodorico wants to become a wedding DJ out of nowhere, I assume. I don't know. And is looking to crowdsource some information. And who is this guy? I don't know. I don't know who this guy is, with the exception of rewind about a month ago. I am walking out to my oldest's track and field event. He throws discus and shot put. They were in, I think they were in sectionals or districts or something. I don't know. And I suppose that in these events, you're supposed to go through the main gates and pay and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not, I park where I park, and then I go to where all the throwers are. And they're kind of like second class citizens in the track and field events. All the throwers are, because all the fancy, sexy events are all the running stuff. And that's where the crowds are. That's where all the action is. And then all the throwers are like way in the back. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to pay. I'm gonna go watch my son compete and just enjoy my afternoon. So I'm kind of walking, strolling through, and again, it's way in the back where they put the throwers, and I'm getting ready to go through this other side of the fence, and then all of a sudden I start hearing from behind, "Excuse me, sir, hold on, sir," and I'm like, there's no way somebody is checking to see if I paid to get in. There's no way. But in the back of my head, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh God, I'm the parent that gets caught that doesn't pay. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hey, you. And so finally, I was like, I kind of turn, and this guy starts coming up to me. I'm like, oh, it's a fucking a district official or something. And I'm going to embarrass my kid because I'm the one that gets, pulled out, which usually, with this beard, and I grow this beard specifically because I don't want people coming up to me, and they usually don't. It's scary enough that when I'm out in public, because I have this beard and just the aura that I give off of don't come up and talk to me, rarely will people actually approach me. So I thought it was strange that somebody was coming to check to see if I had paid. And all of a sudden, this guy comes up to me, and then a big smile on his face. He's like, "Hey, I follow you." And then all of a sudden, I'm absolutely confused at what's going on. I was like, "What?" He goes, I follow you on Instagram. I follow your podcast, Tossing Salad Podcast, and your garden account. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "What?" And we proceed to have like a great 15-minute conversation. His daughter is a senior, and she throws as well at one of the high schools in our area. So they were throwing on the field like next to ours. So he and I are just kind of just having a good time and everything. The dude's name is Joshua, Mr. Dodorico, and we end up getting this picture here to. It's just fun, and this was the first time that I have ever had somebody come up to me and say that they followed the podcast, or they even knew what the podcast was. I've had two people since I've been online on Instagram with my gardening account when I'm out and about in St. Louis, and I think both happened at a Home Depot, that people say they recognized me. But for the podcast, it was kind of cool. It absolutely made my night. Joshua, I appreciate it. Congrats to your daughter, by the way. And you're going on this new adventure. You're boldly going where you have never gone before with this wedding DJ stuff. I can only relate a little bit because I'm a wedding photographer. I'm a photographer that does some weddings, and I know it's very stressful, and I don't want to talk you out of it, but it psychs me up to know that you are wanting to pursue some kind of passion that's inside of you, and you're looking to get as much information as possible, and you're going to give it a try. And sometimes we all need that little push to continue to follow whatever it is that we're out searching for. And I don't think necessarily that it comes down to, are you going to be successful? Are you going to make a shit ton of money? And for me, it's not about that. And I'm relating it kind of to my podcast experience within the last year of starting this up. It's kind of just the journey of doing something of interest that sparks that creative flame inside. And too often we go through life and we're just told to just go with the status quo, not take any chances. And you get to my age, Mr. Dodorico, I don't know how old you are, probably in the same ballpark, that we are now to the point to where we're like, you know what? Fuck it. Why not? Why not give it a try? Why not be a wedding DJ? So my invite to you, sir, if you see this video, I want you on the podcast. I want to talk about this. Where did this idea come up in your head? And what the hell are you thinking? So yeah, come on the podcast. Great. I love it. I love it.